Hey guys, Southern Comfort here. Well, of course, it's early into the morning. We hear the roosters crowing. But I just want to give a quick update about these automatic door openers. Now, I had one subscriber, Norma. Thank you, Norma. She said that you're going to love these automatic door openers. And I am truly loving it. I still come out in the afternoon to make sure that they are shut in, because every now and then I'll have a chicken that hasn't gone in because they kind of just lagged around. And so I do check them out into the morning and in the afternoon to make sure everybody's cool. One door I'm going to have to adjust the timing onto it, but all is well. So I think the chickens love it also, because they're gotten used to it. They're like, okay, we got to get in here. It's time to get in here before this door shuts onto us. So I'm going to go ahead and let them out. I hadn't even let them out because you know what? I get to not to sit there and think, oh, I got to get out there. I got to let them out. Got to let them out, you know. Now it is early into the morning. It's a little after 6 a.m. into the morning. And my automatic door openers I got set at 6 a.m. Later on I'll change that timing because it'll be dark and I don't want them out when it's dark, because that's usually when the predators come. Hi. Hi. I know you're ready to get out. Hi. Come on out. Come on out. Now I haven't even got their food, and so it makes one less thing that I have to do into the morning. Usually I'll grab the food and come out here and let them out, put their food into the bin, and all is well. But it's really nice to have in these automatic door openers that I don't have to come and let them out. Like this morning I had to get my coffee, second cup of coffee. I had a couple other things to do, but I knew they was out of the coop, and that was what matters, because my chickens, they're like start raising Cain if they're not out by a certain time. So we see this automatic door opener, which is a little bit different than the other one, and we see our chickens here are growing really fast. They're getting super big. My concern was the fact, though, is this door going to be big enough for the roosters? But I think it's going to be, you know, I believe they're going to, as one comment said, one subscriber said, I believe the words are sort of like this, that rooster is going to come out when the hens comes out. And the way he said it made me laugh, and I appreciate that good laugh. I appreciate all my subscribers who leave me comments and give me helpful tips, because we're a community and we all need a little bit of helping hand and encouragement. So I'm really super loving this automatic chicken door openers. I also you see the platform, I put it on here. My coop is high up. It's probably about 3 feet high, or yeah, about 3 feet high up, and that's because of flooding. And that's also helps them to get up under here out of the environments, the elements, the rain, if they want to. But these chickens have a tendency to just walk into the rain. Another good addition to the homestead, and thank God for NJ Breast Farms. They sent me these chickens over here, but this is a poultry netting, and with a poultry netting gate. And I thought about it, you know, getting the poultry netting gate when I ordered the poultry netting, but I didn't do it. You know, I said, well, I'll do it later on, and you know, do I really need this? I've been getting by without it. But I'm gonna tell you what, when you come into the coop as much as I do, or just coming in here, this right here is the best. I mean, especially when I'm working on the rabbit area, you know, it's making life so much easier, toting things in. I mean, these little things that's been added to the homestead has been such a blessing, and been such a just a time saver. You know, before I started getting my feet caught into this poultry netting, and you got your boots on, you know, you got something in your hand, you're trying to get over the net, and here you are up into the air, right? So having this gate right here has been such a blessing. Another area here onto the homestead, this poultry netting was added. It's about 48 inches tall, but it's bigger than my last poultry netting. And I really do like it because now I don't have to move the poultry netting. As before, I had a tendency to move the poultry netting because of the fact of the way they was eating the grass. But now, because it's bigger, now you can see that it's more stationary. I did have to put some grass killer. You can put vinegar around your netting and to kill the grass. Of course, it'll only be temporary, but that's been a time saver for me, because here, especially we're into July, the grass grows crazy, especially in here where the chickens have been with all the manure. So having this poultry netting bigger, it's been a blessing. That's one less chore that I have to do here onto the homestead. So another thing that we're trying to make things a little bit easier around here, especially as we get older, especially as the elements, the weather is going crazy and changing how our world system is. Another thing I'm doing, you can see in the background here, I'm building a rabbit village, a rabbit barn, and I'm hoping to get all 3 of the cages in there. I might be able to and I might not, because it is kind of close quarters, but I do have a rabbit cage right here. But I'm also thinking too that I'm going to venture into a bigger waterers and feeders for temporary measurements. And so then I can put that up under there. That's going to make it easier. I'm just looking for ways to make things easier so I can move on to other projects. Time is everything, and when you have a homestead and you're doing everything by yourself, and you're trying to create projects that need to be done, or projects that pop up that need to be done, then you have to come up with easier ways on how to make things function and flow onto the homestead. So you see the rabbit area back here. I finally got the joists up there yesterday. It's pretty much almost closed in. I've got to get some more wood. I have a tendency to overdo things. I have a tendency, and it's not to say as much as overdoing, it's thinking long term. I always think long term. You know, sometimes we can create projects and it be, yeah, it works then, but I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking of the elements, of the weather, because we had some crazy weather last year that we usually don't have. We got snow and ice, and it was crazy. And so to make things easier for me and easier for the animals to protect them, then I have to come up with certain plans to help them out and also help me out. So we got the rabbit area back here going. I believe it's 70 feet. No, it was 119 inches long and 70 inches down, as far as the metal. That's not including the top. So the area from the middle to the other post is like 10 feet, almost 10 feet, not quite 10 feet, but almost 10 feet. So that's giving me enough area. It's also giving me area to put the rabbits in. It's also giving me an option to decide whether I just want to put feeders up on there to protect them from the elements. Even though I had built my coops up underneath, that I could put the feed up under there to protect it from the rain, the snow, the ice. And so we're also considering ways to keep the water from freezing and keep the water from being too hot. So having the rabbit area up here, see, we're into the summer and it's super hot here, super humid. Humidity is crazy. The heat index is super high. And so also I'm considering, if I can get them all in one area, at least get enclosed into that area, having a fan up there to blow down on them. So I won't have to move the fan every day or put it in, because our weather, we're always having storms and rainstorms or sudden storms, and you know, put a fan up there so that I can just put it up there to keep them cool. So that is into the plans here onto the homestead. One of the ideas that I have is putting this egg laying box here it makes it really super great, especially when we're getting the rains, we're getting the storms, and you know as well as I know that you can get into the run and it's all gushy and you can fall down, and who wants to fall in chicken manure, right? But this helps keep the eggs more cleaner because they got to walk in to kind of get some of the stuff off their feet. It's easy to clean out this this egg box right here, keeping the everything fresh in there. And that I love this. And then when it's raining, I got an overhang on the top so I don't get wet. Planning your homestead is very critical to make it easier for you into the long run. Even though sometimes they'll go into the corner back there and I'll have to get the eggs inside where they sleep at. But this right here, it's just been such a blessing. I don't have to crawl into the coop. Most of the time I don't have to crawl into the coop, but just walk up into the steps, open this up, and get my eggs out. So now you can see down here, I have a hen in there. She's got one bitty, and this area is where they can get out of the elements if they want to. I've had chickens that didn't like the rain and they would just run up under there, and it was very nice. It also protects them excuse me, but it also protects them from the wind to a degree. But I have a hen up under there. She had one bitty last time. Sometimes I don't want to hold, you know, a lot of bitties because I got enough chickens at this point in time. I got some raising up, and you know, but my heart is that when they want to be a mama, I can't help myself. I end up letting them be a mama, whether they have 1, 2, or 3. We know that sometimes those eggs don't hatch out, or with this situation, she crushed one of them. Or that's why I always move them to the brood box, which makes it easier also because it doesn't work into the coop here, because the hens are coming in laying, they want to lay, and then as the eggs are fixing to hatch, the mother gets more aggressive and the eggs get crushed. So I always move the hen. I got Betsy into the brood box now. But this is why I built this coop like this. Not only is it protects it from the floods or the rains, especially in this area with them digging around, the ground gets lower, but they can also perch up under here. But I've got her up under there for the fact that when last time she would keep the bitty away from the other chickens, and which is not good because protection is into numbers, and she had walked away, walked away with the bitty. She was doing her motherly duties, but either an owl or a hawk scooped down and got that bitty. And it not long just happened. It amazes me that things happen right before I come out. You know, usually when I would be out there, and I could tell that it just happened because she's panically running around trying to find that bitty. In a matter of seconds, I would say a minute, she realized, hey, the bitty's gone. And so this time I got her up under here. This wire right here moves. It doesn't look the best in the world because it moves so much. But when I have an injured chicken, I can put it up under there. If I got a rooster that's acting up, I can put it up under there. So I have decided to keep her up under there just to protect her, because for the fact, you know, I hate for something to happen to this bitty when I'm surely, you know, their mother, and surely it kind of breaks their heart a little bit to, you know, to lose a baby. So I have decided to keep her up under there till that bitty gets big enough. She's scratching around. They really haven't been up under there, so she's been scratching for bugs and stuff and teaching the baby, and it's working out super great. Usually I will crawl up under there and get her in the bitty and put her in the coop. This time, as much as I hate to do that because she has a tendency to get in the corner, with all my chickens, if they've got babies, I'll go up under and get them and put them into the coop. And not long I'll do that so she can teach this bitty, call this bitty into the coop and make life a lot easier. So we're talking about making life a lot easier onto the homestead. You know, we should grow our own food. God calls us to grow our own food. He wants us to grow our own food. If you look into the Bible, into Genesis, Adam tended to the garden. He tended to it. He was a farmer. God gave him that authorship over the land, and he tended to it. And when you grow your own food, you don't have all the chemicals into it. You don't have, you can control the environment. You control what goes onto your vegetables. You control the insects. because when it comes to farming, I can tell you for a fact that they throw all, first of all, they put the Roundup out there, and they put all these chemicals, all these insecticides, all these pesticides, all these herbicides into to grow beautiful fruits and vegetables. Like here, I can look on here and see there's a little bit of aphids. Well, you know, so far I don't see much damage. I'm not even going to be concerned about that as long as I don't see a whole lot of damage. My main technique is walking through the garden and smashing those bugs. Yes, I do have some vegetables that do get damaged, like these pink purple hulls up underneath there. Up underneath there, surely I can't get to them all, and I'm not consumed with it. But see, I could look onto this pink-eyed purple hull. It's not long for these to be over with anyhow, but I see where the stink bugs have got on here and stung these bees. Now, so far, open it up, because it's got the shell on here, so far open it up, it hasn't damaged the pea. But that's some of the things you have to deal with. Now, into the aquaculture, into the farmland, they're going to spray stuff that you won't see all this onto the fruits and vegetables. To conclude this video is that, you know, we should be growing our own food. And one of the things I did this year was growing into the garden things that was the easiest, things that would produce a ground cover to smother out the grass, things that I can get a great harvest from. Here you see the tomatoes are gone. You see that the gold mine string beans are gone. They produce very well. Both of those items produce very well. We got over here, we've got the sweet potatoes growing. They take care of themselves. The pink-eyed purples pretty much take care of themselves. They're coming off now. The peanuts, which we haven't grown peanuts before, but the bushes look very good. So it kind of smothers out the grass. So growing into your garden, putting up trellises. You'll see a trellis down here, a trellis down there. That's one of the trellis. I've already taken up one trellis, using trellises to keep the vegetables, say cucumbers, off the ground, which helps with the insects, and you know, it also helps with your space. You can grow more into the garden if you trellis. Growing things like those eggplants down there, growing things that you don't have to do a whole lot to. It ground covers, creates a ground cover, keeps the grass out, produces a lot. And that's what I did this year. Usually in my garden, you could find just about in and everything into the garden, and it was great and it was beautiful. But this year I decided, you know, I want to get to a place that I grow, that I get a great harvest, but I'm not tending to it as much as before, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just that, you know, like building the rabbit area, I need to spend time on that to get that done, besides spending time into the garden, because however much time you put into it is what you're going to get out of it, and that's a fact. So I decided to, you know, grow things that take care of themselves. So raised beds are super easy to maintain. It keeps the grass out. I mean, it really keeps the grass out, but it's easy to get the grass out. Having a greenhouse, controlling the environment is very nice, and you can grow things sometimes better into the greenhouse than you can into the garden, because of the elements, because of the rains, because of the insects. You have more control over it. If the weather's turning cold, you have a way of protecting it a little bit. So having just raised beds, you can get a lot out of raised beds. Years ago, I used to have this, sorry, I just looked back there and seen a deer walking across, but years ago I just have this, I don't remember what size it was. It wasn't very big, and she's listening to me. Hi. Oh, there's another. Really? They're coming over to eat some of that grass back there in the field. But and they're sitting there looking at me because they can hear me. So it wasn't very big. It was not very big, but I got a lot of, I never heard of anybody trellising cucumbers. I decided, you know, I had put a little gate around, a little fence around it, and I decided to run those cucumbers up it. I put some okra in there. I had some squash in there. I got, you know, at the time I wasn't canning, so I had got more than I needed and was giving stuff away. So I hope some of these tips will help you to make life easier onto your homestead. You know, that's what we got to do, is we're going to be productive onto the homestead. And so here they are running across. I can't get you around there to see. They are, that's that mama and her baby. I wonder where her other little baby is, unless it's a different deer. I wonder if that was a buck. But anyway, sorry about that. I love deers. I love hunting, but I also love watching the deer. See you onto the next video. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to give a thumbs up. And thank you for all the comments, because you see, you know, YouTube has this thing, unless you get the comments and the thumbs up, they just don't put you out there. It don't matter how good your video is. It is what it is. And once you hit that rhythm with YouTube, then they'll start showing your videos. But anyways, that's it for this video. That's the conclusion of this video, and I'll see you on to the next video.